Music is like root work, magic that's pulled up from the soil. It echoes on the stony hills and spins in the tall grass by the sea. It soothes the savage beast and pierces the soul of a man. Music is that old witchcraft. It writes your true name on a scrap of paper and makes you dance undignified like King David. This is the Hoodoo Music Podcast.
This is the Hoodoo Music Podcast, episode 6. Special guest on this episode is Total Astronaut. What's up, guys?
Thank you very much.
Really glad to have you on the show. Saw you a couple of weeks ago. Was blown away. You guys are very tight. It's fun to watch and even more fun to listen to.
Thank you.
So how long have you guys been together as your band?
Oh, here's a story. Oh man,
Yeah, it's been
long.
It's been a while. I guess probably it started senior year.
2012 around there.
Yeah, your guys' senior year, my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so probably about 2012, and we were a band called Arden, and it was a little softer, a little more jazzy style.
Okay.
Not initially.
Initially,
But yeah.
Initially, it was like hard rock.
initially it was like, what do we listen to? Let's do some of that.
Pretty much
well,
what it is.
it kind of started with there was supposed to be a senior prank at school that day, where everybody was going to park down the road and form a huge line to check in late and like take forever. Nobody would be in the homeroom classes or anything, and it didn't end up happening. And we were all really bummed out. And I wasn't a senior anyway, but I was riding to school with Alex. And we were all like, man, we really want to do the senior prank. Let's just ditch school today.
Yeah, so we ditched school, went to Zach's house, and they had a full music set
like
up
a practice
upstairs, and we just started jamming, and that's how
Yeah, we wrote a
that's
song.
how it began. Yeah, we wrote a song that day.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, actually, you know what? Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? You've said your names, so let's put names to the voices.
My name is Josh. I play the guitar and I do vocals. And yeah.
My name is Alex, and I plucks the faux string, and I also do vocals.
Yeah, he only has 4. I have 6.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Killing
More
it.
to manage. More to manage.
Yeah. I'm
My
over here
name
killing
is
it.
Zach. And I play drums and sometimes do vocals.
He does vocals. Yeah, he's good.
And I have 7 or 8 things to hit. Oh.
What's your favorite candy, Zach?
Yeah.
Favorite candy?
Yeah,
Dude, don't ask me that, dude. There's no telling.
So Swedish fish you were eating earlier, man.
Those were good. Those are lost and found candies.
Yeah. You tell me this after I eat one. You tell me that you found an open bag and a lost and
No, it
found.
wasn't open. They were closed.
It had been opened previously.
Details.
Yes.
Details.
Well, why don't we? What's this first song? Just tell us kind of where you wrote it from, what it's about. Give us an idea about it.
Go Josh.
Straight to Hell. Well, that song was the first song that we wrote when we first started redefining our style. When we first made our transition from what was previously Arden over to what is now Total Astronaut. We had a little bit softer and jazzier, cleaner of a style that we were doing before, and we have a CD from that genre that we were doing. But I think we all wanted to evolve our style into something new, and we were feeling a new vibe collectively.
Sure.
And we really just wanted to step it up to something that was a little bit more collaborative. And that song we kind of wrote a little more on the fly like we've been doing with some of the newer songs. And it's not one of our more lyrically meaningful songs, though it does have lyrical meaning taken from several different things. But it is one of our... It is a hallmark in the beginning of the new rebranding that we've done as a
Absolutely,
band
yeah.
for our genre.
Cool. And I shot a video when we recorded that song. Hopefully, I'll be able to put that up. You said it doesn't have a lot of lyrical meaning, but I mean, it does have some.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you touch on that a little bit before we play it?
Well, each verse kind of has the first verse and second verse kind of have a little bit different meaning. I wrote the second verse a lot later, like I tend to do. The first verse is just about, there's the, this is not what you think, no, it never was. A prescription to addiction is a lonely thought. And I always thought that was interesting, a prescription to addiction, not an addiction to prescription, because it's not about drugs necessarily. It's about people who struggle with addictions to anything in their life, regardless of what it is, having that natural tendency to fall into things really difficultly and falling down on his way down straight to hell. It's kind of digging holes for yourself, and that's a struggle that everybody goes through, I guess. And that's probably the best meaning I could pull out of the song. Second verse I wrote about Alex whenever he was going through something that he was particularly struggling with. Hence the call me up, call me out if you need to talk. Introspection for direction can be hella tough. That verse is kind of about helping people when they're going through those particular times where they feel like they've dug themselves into a place that they're uncertain about. So, yeah, I think that's about. And then the bridge is a solo, so there's no there.
But the meaning behind that solo is about me.
Yes.
Yes.
It's all about Zach. Solo. This is not what you think. No, it never was. A prescription to addiction is a lonely thought. Gasoline fuels a fire and it burns you out. An attraction to reaction breeds a likely doubt. Boy, you see me and you run. Boy, you see me and you run. You run. On his way down, he wished them well. Dug a hole out, straight to hell. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. Call me up, call me out if you need to talk. Introspection for direction can be hella tough. Give me peace, give me grace, yeah, that would be nice. A desire to inspire you with good advice. Boy, you see me and you run. Boy, you see me and you run. You run. On his way down, he wished them well. Dug a hole out, straight to hell. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. Crossed his heart out and hoped to die on the apple of his eye. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. No. Way down, he wished them well, dug a hole out, straight to hell. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. Crossed his his heart out and hoped to die on the apple of his eye. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. On his way down, he wished them well, dug a hole out, straight to hell. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. Crossed his heart out and hoped to die on the apple of his eye. He knew not what he wanted. He knew not what he wanted. No.
So I got to ask you guys a question. I got to ask you guys, I'm curious. Where does the name Total Astronaut come from? Where do you come up with a name?
Man,
Is it a drug thing?
no. It's not a drug thing. Josh, I don't know. We were talking about it, and I mean, we were Arden for a minute, and yeah, we talked about switching styles and stuff, but we did not talk about switching names, and we just did it randomly. And Josh was like, "What about Total Astronaut?" And it just kind of worked, and we had to fight Alex on it for a long time.
I was not down.
He
at
was
the beginning.
wanting to be something nostalgia.
Welcome Nostalgia.
Yeah, welcome
was
nostalgia
my
is what
name.
he was wanting to be. But
Trademark.
We
Still
we,
hold reservations to it.
yeah, we outvoted him, and he came around.
I gotta
Yeah,
say
no, I
that
like it.
that Welcome Nostalgia does sound like it would be the name of an album, like an early 2000s emo band would do. So
Like an MCR song.
Well, I can briefly touch on maybe where it stemmed in my brain from being I won't call it a belief, but a thought maybe about us being aliens coming from somewhere else, and we're just total astronauts. So
Enter the mind of Joshua Hawk.
Yeah.
nice, nice.
I don't want to delve too deep into it, but I'm not particularly subscribing to any particular belief system or anything. But I will say that
channel.
the idea that both makes sense to me and excites me, and I think the name stemmed from that. I would say. I mean, it sounds kind of goofy, but the meaning behind it
No.
is actually. It's kind of like me casually saying, like, yeah, no, we're totally astronauts.
The shirt is what the shirt idea that I had was what got my vote. We'd have to get in with Kellogg's to do it, but we wanted to get a shirt with an astronaut in space pouring Total cereal. And that's what we wanted to
Into a
do.
bowl,
And I
yeah.
was like, I thought that, and I was like, that's it. We're done. We're Total Astronauts. Screw you, Alex.
That'd be a great album cover.
So you put there's kind of a pattern of thought behind it. It wasn't just something you just randomly shouted out, but I mean, maybe
The interesting
it was.
thing about my mind, I don't know if it's interesting or if it's just the way I kind of function, is a lot of times I'll write stuff, whether lyrics for a song or names for things, and it'll kind of just like, this is going to sound really pretentious, but it'll just come to me, quote, air quotes, and then, since you can't see them, but I was doing air quotes, and then I will like analyze it like after the fact, and I'll be like, wow, like I was actually like saying something to myself when I wrote those lyrics, or when I came up with that name or that title or anything like that. A lot of times it starts kind of subconscious, I think, and then there becomes a meaning out of it that I didn't even realize I necessarily intended initially. And I say that about the band name, but that's definitely more evident than anything in the lyrics that I write. That when I'm writing them, I'm improvising them, and I'm just saying what's on my mind and not really thinking about it. And then I analyze it later, and I realize, oh, this is what I needed to hear. This is what I needed to tell myself.
Huh.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that, with the writing. Like, maybe it just comes out, and in the moment, it's like, in my mind, I know what I'm saying, like, by these lyrics, and like, oh, that sounds really good. There is a part that is a super simplistic, like, oh, this would sound good here.
Yeah.
Like, that definitely happens. And then later on, you look at it, and like, maybe you don't even look at it until someone says, what's the meaning behind this? And then you're actually thinking about it, and you're like, oh, this was truly what was going on in my head at that moment, and I needed to say this without completely realizing that I was saying it and all. Like maybe the idea of the song stemmed from this, and I thought maybe it just got away and started becoming sort of this like, oh, this sounds like a good song, but really it always comes back to the root, even if you don't notice it.
It's almost subconscious.
Yes,
it's the higher mind telling the confused you in the moment of angst that you're writing the song what you need to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. It's an interesting perspective. I haven't...
That's been my experience.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, you know, what about with writing music? You know, where does that typically... What inspires you? I guess what influenced you or you know...
Most of our songs are written by Josh. Usually he comes to us and he's like, yo, check this out. Like, this is really cool. Or something like that. I think our favorite songs are the ones that we write together, like Comatose and stuff like that. And yeah.
Usually, I mean, I won't write the whole song. I'll just write like usually a verse-ish thing and then a chorus-ish thing, and then together we'll construct it together and, you know, agree or disagree or whatever on the structure of the whole song, and then maybe write the bridge together. And you know, I don't write their parts. I just write my part.
Sure.
The bass that we start with is usually the guitar and a melody.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the spirit of the song. And then they add in their harmonies and their parts, and then we put the structure of the whole song together.
It is, by definition, a collaboration.
Mm-hmm. No, it definitely is. I'm not composing the whole thing. I just write usually the starting note, to put it simply.
I just hit things.
And you do it very well. I was enjoying watching your playing, you know, even when you dropped the stick at one point and he kept on going. It was beautiful.
Wonder if they're going to be able to tell from just the audio when he did that, because he played it off pretty well.
He did play it off really well.
Unless you hear like the stick like hit my mic stand or something.
In the show we just played on Tuesday, Josh's, was it your wireless went out?
Yeah.
Josh's wireless went out on his guitar. So the guitar went completely out.
It was like at the perfect time.
Yeah, it was really good timing by the guitar. And
those double A's.
So Zach kept going on the drums, and I kept going on the bass, and I'm just singing. There's supposed to be harmonies there, but I was just singing myself, and I'm realizing, oh, Josh is out. Let's make this sound like better than me just leading it on. So maybe throw in a couple vocal runs here and there, like, oh, this is supposed to be a super tasteful part, and then that section ends, and Josh came back in, and we just walked right back into it. Yeah,
I had my cable plugged back in before I came back in, because I was like, I'm just gonna let this whole part play out and just play it off that way, and come back in.
I didn't know
with the guitar.
Happened. I was looking down at the time, like my head was down, and I was just playing and jamming along, and because I don't sing in that song, and all of a sudden it was just no guitar and no Josh vocals. I thought that you got mad at something and just quit. Like, I thought you were just like, screw this, we don't do it anymore. And I looked up and I was like, oh, okay.
I saw the red light blinking at the beginning of the song. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I was like, can that blinking go on for at least 6 more minutes? Because the song is way too long for that.
Well, cool. Well, you know, why don't we go ahead and just talk about this next song real quick, and then when we come back after the song, I want to ask you about, you know, because you're talking about the harmonies and stuff. So I want to touch a little bit on your musical background when we come back.
Okay.
What's this next song? What's it about?
The Reason. That's what we did second.
Yeah.
Okay.
This song was about a time where I was struggling with making a decision about a particular relationship that I was in, and I just felt like there was a legitimate reason to go so many different directions, to whether I wanted to be with this person or whether I didn't want to, or whether I wanted to wait to be with this person, or there was just so many things going on in my head, and I felt like there was a reason for there was a legitimate reason to do any of the given things that I could have done in the situation, and I was feeling confused, you know. So the whole song is, there's a reason to
tear this apart.
There's a reason to let you know. There's a reason to give you my heart, and a reason to let you go. A reason to give this a chance. A reason to take it slow. A reason for this circumstance, and a reason to let you go. And then the verses were about, the first verse is a little bit about how I had this underlying feeling that, you know, a lot of our relationship was based in memories, and it's almost become a parade at this point, something we like watched just pass by, and that should we give any credence to something that is just based in something that we had, or do we need to build something new? And then the second verse was written later on, like I tend to do, and that second verse was about that person's decision instead, and me struggling with wanting to know. It says the answer is clear, but the question remains. Please tell me, dear, when will I know? When will I know? And on and on. So that's kind of the inspiration behind that song and what drove the lyrics behind that.
Yeah, it's super. I love listening to you talk about when you talk about the lyrics in your songs, because even though I wasn't really I didn't deal with that or anything in that song, or nor did I help you write it lyrically, but it's cool because we are really close as friends. We're all me and Josh live together, and Alex is always here. And it's cool thinking oh yeah, where was I when that was going on, or what was it? Did I help him with that or anything like that?
It embodies a whole moment of your life. There's a whole. It could be 2 weeks to a month. That song is just kind of the vibe, And singing it and going through it really brings that time back to life very vividly. Yeah. With what was going on in our lives. It seems to me that you're broken inside. So run to me, there's no reason to hide. The past is just falling too far away. The life we had has become a charade of
heart, and there's a reason to let you know. Yeah, there's a reason to give you my heart, and there's a reason to let you go. Yeah, there's a reason to give this a chance, and there's a reason to take this on. Yeah, there's a reason for this circumstance, and there's a reason to let you go. Yeah, there's a reason to let you go. Go! Thank you so much to Hoodoo Music Podcast for...
So how long have you guys known each other?
So I have known Josh probably since the age of 12.
Wow.
Wait, who 12? You 12 or him 12?
Me 12.
It's probably like 11,
Yeah, Josh
10,
11 and 10.
10 or 11.
And so we lived in the same neighborhood, and I lived in there for a couple years. Josh moved in after.
Just down the road.
Just down the road. We were neighbors, best friends instantly, and
forever.
forever and ever.
Oh, it's so ugly.
So yeah, so that's a good 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
I've known them for. We met. I've known Alex. Like I knew who he was in high school. Just he was Mr. Popular in high school.
Yeah,
And no, and I knew who he was.
I had the opposite perception of you two.
You thought I was Mr. Popular in high
Yeah,
school?
I thought Alex was weird with me.
because you knew me.
Yeah. See, I thought he
I
was
think
a
everybody
cool
just thinks
kid.
everybody else is popular.
But,
Nobody's actually popular.
He randomly came up to me and he knew I was involved in drumline and he knew I was involved in music in general. He came up to me. He was like, "Do you play guitar?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you sing?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come play at church with us." I was like, and I was already playing at a bunch of churches. And I was like, "Okay."
We'd all been playing at churches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we played at
Yes.
Milestones that first time
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Predominantly at Milestone.
So it's about, for me, it's about 7 years I've known them, and then they're known each
Yeah.
other forever.
Sure.
And now me and Zach have this house together.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, so because I was listening to you guys harmonize earlier. We got it actually at the very beginning of the episode. It seems like your friendship and your musical background are actually kind of intertwined.
Extremely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are the
Yeah.
definition of the friendship.
It's kind of what started it all.
Yeah. Well, how did music start? Like, what got each of you into music? What was that? I guess that spark.
Well, for me, it was my father is a super musician. He's a bass player. He's sick. And when I was growing up, we were always around music. My dad was in a band and all this stuff. And I have a bunch of brothers who were introduced to music really early and all this stuff. And started playing guitar when I was 12. And then I started actual educational training at school through percussion in 5th grade. And then I went through that and all through high school. And we all of my brothers and sisters, we all play something. But I was just always around it when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Full immersion.
For me, my family was also very musical. Parents play the piano and sing and whatever. And I grew up in church, a very religious background, and they sang in the choir and everything. And it's kind of where music started for me. It was a family thing, but it was more of well, it was definitely an enjoyable thing. Like, hey, do this because you enjoy doing it and everything. But I don't know. I always wanted to be the different one, the one who didn't just like, oh, everybody in my family plays the piano, so I'm going to learn how to play the piano. I started off on piano, and then the mindset kind of changed, and I kind of wavered from that. I was like, oh, I want to pick up the guitars, so I started doing that, and then started singing, and it just grew from there. Just as very, very much just a pure enjoyment thing of not as much as, oh, I'm good at this, let me do it. More of, hey, this is something I love doing, and I'm going to get as good as I can. But if I'm not that great, which I'm not that great at guitar, then cool, I'll get to where I can, and I'm gonna love every minute of it. So that's definitely. And then meeting Josh absolutely was a musical change for me. Meeting Josh got me into a whole lot of a different style of music, and just a different way of thinking about music rather than just listening to what was popular out there, but really listening to bands who are very technical and have a lot of meaning and emotion behind it, and really picking things apart. So
Sure.
and I just caught that and ran with it, and that's pretty much my background.
And then he started playing the bass.
Yeah, about a year ago.
'Cause he played guitar in our old band before, and we wanted to piece back together the band when I got moved back to South Carolina from Florida, but we didn't really have a bassist, and we're like, we can just do a 3-piece, and Alex immediately picked up the bass and just took off with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly, and just to the point now where I see him as a bassist.
Yeah, bass
far more
Yeah.
than I do any other instrument.
Sure.
Zach was saying his dad plays bass, and his dad always tells me, I think you were a bassist trying to be a guitarist all those years.
That's cool.
For me, I didn't even like music when I was really little. It's kind of
Josh was
funny.
very weird.
I was a pretty weird kid.
depressing.
I was I wanted to be like a scientist when I was a kid, and
Scientists don't listen to music.
they're not allowed to. It's one of the laws of being a scientist. But no, what was it? It was Alex actually that first got me into music. I think I remember throwing back to MCR. One of the first nights that I figured out that I actually loved music was watching Welcome to the Black Parade music video with Alex and one of our other friends. And all I'd heard from that before was like the old music my dad played, and like I just didn't dig it that much. I mean, like I liked it, okay. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but you know, it didn't strike something in my heart like I did when I started listening to more modern alternative rock music.
Sure.
And that moment on, I just delved into liking music, and my dad showed me how to play an E minor and an A minor on the guitar, and that was about it. And he gave me his electric guitar to play, and I just learned from there. And I learned some stuff from Alex, and I'm sure he learned some stuff from me, and we just kind of fed off each other.
Yeah.
And I started playing the piano because he played the piano. There was always this underlying healthy competition between me and him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were like brothers, you know, and we just wanted to be better than the other one at music, I think. Not like we really wanted to, but like secretly, like there was a little piece of us that was like, shit, like he can do this. Like I really want to be able to do that too. And I think that is actually a contributing factor to why both of us are as good at music as we are. We both liked constructively doing music together, and also there was I think there was at least a little bit of healthy underlying competition, especially in our younger years when we were less tame people.
It was a push.
Yeah.
So coming back to it, like music is the root of the friendship and like, everything. So it's not.
But vocally, I think the only one of us that is actually. Well, you did chorus in high school, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
me and Alex
they are
both did.
they're trained from Burns. I've been singing since I was young, but I never had any actual training like them from a teacher. But yeah, vocally and the harmonies and all that, we just kind of have been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
And when Josh was in school at Full Sail in Florida, while he was away, Zach and I were actually doing some
the acoustic stuff.
duet and a trio with another friend, just playing at small places and stuff.
I wanted to touch on my music theory that I've I learned a lot about, partially from chorus, but a lot when I was younger. I delved into music theory myself and learned a lot just from teaching myself to play the piano. But a big part of my musical upbringing and my musical understanding and what gave me the ability to teach myself more was my family in New York, that we're all raised in a very, very musical household, very traditional, and my cousins when I lived in New York when I was younger, that I grew up with and were some of my best friends, moved down to South Carolina, and I would go visit them every summer because I missed them and whatnot. And
They're family and stuff.
yeah, family is kind of
I
important
guess I'll go
sometimes.
see him once in a while.
But whenever I was there, they would always teach me stuff about music, and my aunt, the mother of all these wonderful children who are very talented, her name was Arden, which is the reason our band used to be named Arden and was the stem of the original band name.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
And from then on, I taught myself bass and drums as well, and dabbled in a few auxiliary instruments, but
Yeah,
that's kind of where I landed.
that's cool. Since you're the principal songwriter, more or less, I mean, what kind of influences you? Where do you, as you talked about, the album that kind of sparked your interest in music was Welcome to the Black Parade, and, which I mean is really good. It's
Yeah,
really
no,
good. It's a really
absolutely.
good album, but it is kind of funny to laugh about it. At the
It's
same time.
it's
Yeah.
a laugh out of.
It's a very angsty
It's
teen
a laugh
thing.
Yeah,
out
it
of.
totally is.
Oh, people don't take this seriously, but there's something there. Like,
I mean, that
Yeah, no,
definitely
there's-
was. It embodied what the rock and roll life is, I guess, and the whole album was very clearly about the shedding of negative emotions in a theatrical and beautiful way. I think that's what music is for, and I think even though it was a little bit corny and played up, it still embodied that aspect of music to me.
Sure. Well, so what kind of influences what you're writing now?
Well,
you can definitely tell what bands he's been listening to.
Yeah.
Whenever he shows up and he's like, "Yo, check out this song," you're like, "You've been listening to All Get Out. You've been listening to the Band of Horses, or you've been listening to." It just you can really tell.
some of
Like
my
what?
biggest influences probably are those two bands lately, definitely.
At Cities Burn.
As Cities Burn. Emery was a
will
huge
always
influence for
be,
all of us.
Yeah.
Or for me and Alex.
Yeah.
Emery was a big one.
Can't-
Classic Crime.
We
and
can't talk
Amberlin.
about our band without talking about Emery.
Yeah, no,
It's like-
they're an integral part. Another big, slightly probably unexpected influence was for me personally, and I don't know, probably for Alex to an extent as well, was Conor Oberst and Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
because of the level of depth put into the lyrics I didn't realize music could be so much poetry.
Yeah.
I always just, there could be some poetry, but it's about the music. And I realized it can be just as hardcore about the music and also at the same time just as hardcore about the lyrics. And that's really what drives people emotions up and their ability to relate to something is the music really tugging at their heartstrings and the lyrics really having just as much effort put into
Yeah,
them.
dude. Landlocked Blues is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, well,
Beautiful.
this next song,
Ghost.
go for it. Tell us about it. Ghost for it.
Ba-da-ps.
Don't ghost on us.
I was gonna do it, but I left it to the drum.
Ghost is a song about neurosis and mental health issues.
Okay.
The chorus of the song is, "There's a ghost behind these eyes, and I can't see my own reflection staring back at me. And as I depersonalize, I can't feel my own emotions, they're escaping me." Because I've struggled with mental illness before in my life pretty badly when it comes to depression and
Sure.
severe anxiety and specifically depersonalization, which is, for those who don't know, depersonalization and derealization are forms of detachment where you have difficulty believing things are real and difficulty believing yourself is real, and you feel really detached from your emotions and the world around you, and you have difficulty connecting to things and feeling any kind of motivation. And I've really, really struggled with that a couple times in my life. And whether it was induced by something or been triggered by something, the song is just kind of a cry out to the way that it makes you feel. And just, it's a desperate grasping at the emotions that you feel like you've lost when you're trapped inside of it. And there's always hope for people, and I've pushed through it before and came out on the other end free of my illness. And that's why the end of the song is, there's still reason left to fight. All your friends who love you will be waiting here in time. Because it's very difficult for people, especially who are dealing with it the first time, to believe that there is a way out and that there is a brighter future. But it's oftentimes a temporary ailment, and avoiding triggers of it can liberate people from it for the rest of their lives if they know how to properly deal with it. So yeah, that's pretty much what that song is about, and people's struggles with within their own mind and arguing with themselves and giving up hope on wanting to live anymore and struggling to find that reason to go on. Ghost that hides behind these eyes, lives inside my mind and haunts me, and I can't get away. No, I can't find no peace. All this time it's come and taught me. Cause there's a ghost behind these eyes, and I can see my own reflection staring back at me as I deeper sunrise. I can feel my own emotions escaping me. Try so hard, seems that I just fail. One day I know I will prevail. Beat all of these foes, running circles round. My mind is calling me names, putting me down, putting me down. Cause there's a ghost behind these eyes, and I can't see my own reflection staring back at me as I deeper sunrise. I can't feel my own emotions escaping me.
'cause there's still reason left to fight. All your friends who love you will be waiting there in time.
So, what's next for Total Astronaut?
Oh man.
And
Hitting
it's
hard.
it's a big question.
Yeah.
It's a big question. What are your goals? What are you wanting to get out of it? You know,
Shows.
Yeah, right now,
Shows,
we're starting to play more shows, and
Mm-hmm.
it's extremely enjoyable. Just
we
going
love it.
out, like we love it. That show we played Tuesday, there were not many people there. It was a last minute thing. It was during
Yeah.
the week. It's a small crowd.
it's hard to get a crowd out on a weeknight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a blast.
Yeah, we still had a
Yeah, it
blast.
was real fun.
Just going
Sure.
out and playing.
We played at the
was-
Soundbox when you saw that. We had a
Yeah.
blast that night. I mean, we
Yeah, absolutely.
just meeting people and interacting with them, and it doesn't have to be a lot of people. It just has to be. It doesn't have to be a lot of connections. It just has to be genuine connections.
Yeah.
Sure.
So back to like, what's the plan? It's really a let's go with this and see where it takes us.
Yeah.
Because right now we're getting shows and stuff, and it's amazing, and we're just kind of walking with it, and then
Building a network.
building a network definitely helps.
And that's-
Online persona definitely helps in today's world. Obviously, we're doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think personally, for me, a lot of stuff dies down in the winter. So I think maybe this winter, hit back the studio again and start recording. We have a bunch of new stuff that we've been working on, so start recording.
We want to work on a new full length album.
Full length album,
Cool.
for which will be the first album for Total
Total
Astronaut.
Astronaut,
And so yeah, that's the direction.
And also on our single that we have that hasn't been officially released because we want to do a music video for it, we have lead guitar parts and synth key parts that are emulating
cool.
strings. And we really would like to find a lead guitar player who can play those parts and write in a similar style and mesh with the group, as well as a keys player
Yeah.
who can trigger stuff, trigger backing tracks, play synth tracks underneath with a MIDI keyboard, and really just expand and hopefully have a 5-piece group consisting of those members before we start playing bigger and bigger shows to really expand our sound, because the fullness on the recording it's just such a fuller sound because we have those extra things in there, and there's parts that I've already written to some of our songs that are lead guitar parts I just can't play while playing rhythm guitar and singing at
Sure.
the same time. And we just need to find somebody that we can really mesh with and that feels the music in a similar way. We don't want to force anything, because this is all about having fun and being comfortable for us. So we want to find somebody that really meshes well with our style and our personalities.
Gotta
you
be
know-
our friend.
Yeah.
right,
That's
yeah.
that's what I'm wondering about, because the three of you are so close. Is it going to be hard to bring in somebody that is not as close as the three of
Yes.
you
I
right
don't
now?
I don't think so. We have people come in and out of this house like 24/7, and Josh brings people over. I bring people over. Alex, like, usually when people are here, they feel welcome. They feel they can be open. They can be themselves. I don't think that we're gonna have
There would be a period of
if we
adjustment,
don't
but-
like the person, then
Yeah.
yes. But
If they were good friends,
Yeah.
then it would be easy.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest hurdle is, the personality thing, because we do collaborate, and we don't want to feel like, I don't ever feel like I have to tell Zach or Alex that that's not the part I had in mind, or
Yeah.
vice versa between any of us, because we're all on such a similar musical wavelength that I completely entrust what they're going to do with their parts, and they completely entrust me and each other with the
Which-
parts they're going to write to be the parts. Now, we do branch over and make small suggestions here and there, but for the most part, the first time we play through a song, it's mostly written, because we're already kind of
Yeah.
know where we were going with it.
Which is the part for me of why I think that it will be difficult, because finding someone who can get on that same wavelength musically and come in and like click, we're super easy people to get along with, like
Sure.
absolutely we'll tune to anybody, like we can talk
Yeah.
about anything, but musically like having someone come in that can get on that same wavelength and everything is going to be a challenge. It's not impossible by any means.
I think they would definitely feel comfortable and we would have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whether we want that person to choose them is where it's, where those standards are come into play,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, because you want somebody who can write things that make the overall sound better.
Yeah.
Fuller.
Somebody. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want something that's going to necessarily change the sound. You want something that's going to enhance it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, if we could, I would have guitar, rhythm guitar, bass, all of our vocals, drums, trombone, sax,
Yeah,
trumpet,
Biscotto.
fiddle,
We
like
would love-
everything.
We would love a horn section
Yeah, a
and
horn
a
section
string
would be the
player, of
best.
course.
And you just become at that point you just become the Arcade Fire. You've just got like 100 people.
Thank
Become Mickey
scientist.
Scientist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last song you had for us. Do the thing.
Stained glass.
Yes.
Rainbows.
It's, not
It's
called
just-
that.
it's-
It's called
It's
stained
just
glass.
it's just pretty.
It is.
It is a
It's
pretty
just
song.
pretty.
Yeah, I don't know
song.
what that song's about. I've never known what that song's about.
It's actually about. It's actually a little seated in religion and spirituality. The verse is about. I don't know why I chose to write about it, but it's about Joseph. Was that his name?
Coat of Many
The
Colors.
Coat of Many Colors. He was a dream. What are they called? Interpreter. What are those guys called?
Dream interpreter.
Yeah, Zach's
but,
got it.
I lack love in a dream. Clothes were torn at the seam. They tore his coat, threw him into a well of jealousy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second verse was about.
Zach is being awoken.
I don't know
I
how it's
never
possible,
noticed.
but I know even the chorus. I know the lyrics to the chorus because I sing in the chorus, and I have not analyzed it at all.
The second verse was about. I'm not like a particularly religious person, but I do like to study religions and see, like, from a historical standpoint and from a moral and philosophical standpoint. So the second verse was about Jesus and about his journey on earth and him becoming a beast or a man and what that means and his his travels and where he learned what he learned. And there's a lot of things there's a lot of information that I've researched that I've done about the life that he lived because most of it's not accounted for.
Right.
Between the age of 3 and 30, he was somewhere else completely. And I've done a lot of research and different hypotheses and theories on his travels to more Eastern and learning about more Eastern culture and bringing that back to Westernized Europe. And most people who did bring via Silk Road the Eastern philosophies and beliefs to Europe at the time were killed or crucified because that was not the Judeo way of thinking at the time. And he just happened to be the person who actually successfully brought those teachings over. And this is a belief, I guess, in a sense. I'm not claiming it to be absolute fact, but that's kind of what the second verse was referencing because I was researching stuff like that at the time.
Yeah.
And then the chorus, I guess, is just about what spirituality is to me and about how I use it in my art. And I take those emotions. It's a cry me a rainbow. Take your negative emotions, make it into something beautiful. Paint me a color map of God. Show me what this spirituality really is that you want and the feeling that you really want to get. On a stained glass window, just further in-depthly referencing like the beauty and the light shining through your own spirituality, and it's about showing people who you really are. Show me everything I'm not and what I can be. And again, like I'm not one to particularly promote any particular religion as being the religion or anything, but at the time that's what I was learning a lot about, and it had an impact on me in that way. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where that song branched from.
And even outside of the religious aspect of it, find something that can help you be who you truly are. Like, regardless of what you call it or what you claim, like, for yourself, who am I to push my personal beliefs on someone else who has believed something different for their whole life and has helped them be that good person and live a life that they truly feel like is bettering them in the long run. So find what that is for you and go with it.
I almost feel like the first and second verse are two different stories of people doing that.
Yeah.
And then the chorus is telling listener and myself to find that for yourself. Like, these people have done things of that sort. Now you go and do it. You know, you don't need to be these people, but this is their journey, and you need to find your own journey, and through your own spirituality, what that means to you. Clothes are torn at the seam in a well of jealousy. I swore I'd tell this melody. Oh. On his way to perfect peace, he slipped into a simple beast and traveled far into the east. The world was his to do with as he pleased.
God. On a stained glass window, show me everything I'm not.
Josh, Alex, Zach, thank you so much for doing the show. I really enjoyed having you guys on.
Oh yeah,
We
man.
had a great
This is
time.
Super
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely.
Super cool analyzing these things and reminiscing. Definitely a
Yeah,
sense of nostalgia we welcomed here.
yeah, yeah. There's a welcome
Almost
to
a
nostalgia.
low blow in a way.
Well, so where can people find Total Astronaut online?
We have a Facebook page.
And that was the URL.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it's facebook.com/Total Astronaut Band.
Yes.
We have a
Facebook.
Facebook page right now, and that's what we've been predominantly working through. We're looking to branch out and doing more social media stuff, but we're already very swamped with our time as it is. But on the Facebook, you can see videos that we've done. We've done music videos. We've done promo videos that are funny and goofy, and we've released some music, but right now we are still in a preliminary stage. Where we're really hoping to launch our online presence is coming up when we finish doing a music video for our single. And then from there, after we do that, we'll finish working on the album whilst playing shows amongst it. But
Cool.
Our newer stuff isn't much available right now since our single hasn't been released. This podcast will be a sneak preview at some of the songs that
Awesome.
are going to be on the new album.
Yeah. Unless you want to call us and have us come play, then
And you can hear it.
yeah.
Yeah. So you guys don't have any other social media, Twitter, or anything like that?
We should, but we
We have
don't
an
yet.
Instagram.
We do have
under our old band name, Arden Music Group.
Okay.
We have our CD, our Arden CD that we did release, that is on Bandcamp.
Yeah, so right now a lot of stuff is just like transitioning over. I'm just trying to do it right.
Yeah.
Sure.
We kept a couple songs from Arden that we still play, and
And on the Facebook page, you can actually see some older stuff too.
yeah, you can see some of the Arden stuff for sure through Bandcamp.
Cool.
And purchase our album there. It's free actually, so you can put 0 in the purchase to give your own amount. Put however much you want in there. You can put 0 if you want. We're not trying to necessarily sell it, or you can buy a CD from us. We have physical copies as well.
Nice.
If anybody wants to contact us via Facebook to get a CD, you can buy them, or you can trade us for your trade. Whether it's your own music or it's your own art or whatever you might do. Traded CDs for tie-dye shirts, and
It's cool.
stuff like that. I mean, it's whatever really. I mean, we just want to support art and be a part of it at the same time. So
Yeah, and the Bandcamp is ardenmusicgroup.bandcamp.com, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, okay.
Cool. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podcast Addict, and others. You can find us online at facebook.com/Hoodoo Music Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Mark Jones Audio. The easiest way to find all of these things is just to go to bit.ly/Hoodoo Music Podcast, and it'll take you to a hidden page on rootdoctormedia.com where you can find subscribe links to everything. Total Astronaut, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you so much.
Great time, listening to
We
you
had a
guys. Yeah.
We really did.
Well, until next time, thank you so much for listening to the Hoodoo Music Podcast.
Lay down to the music all night